Feet. Introduction. Single-celled eukaryotic microorganisms belonging to kingdom Protista are classified as protozoa. Greek protus. First. Zoon. Animal. Parasitic protozoa are adapted to different host species. Out of 10,000 species of parasitic protozoa, man harbors only about 70 species. General features. The single protozoa cell performs all functions. Most of the protozoa are completely non-pathogenic, but few may cause major diseases such as malaria, leishmaniasis and sleeping sickness. Protozoa like Cryptosporidium parvum and Toxoplasma gondii are being recognized as opportunistic pathogens in patients affected with human immunodeficiency virus, LLV, and in those undergoing immunosuppressive therapy. Protozoa exhibit wide range of size, 150 inches 111, shape and structure, yet all possess essential common features. The differences between protozoa and metazoa are given in Table L. Structure. The typical protozoan cell is bounded by a trilaminar unit membrane, supported by a sheet of contractile fibrils enabling the cell to move and change in shape. Cytoplasm. It has two portions. 1. Ectoplasm. Outer homogeneous part that serves as the organ for locomotion and for engulfment of food by producing pseudopodia is called as the ectoplasm. It also helps in respiration, discharging waste material, and in providing a protective covering of cell 2. Endoplasm. The inner granular portion of cilioplasm that contains nucleus is called endoplasm. The Table 1. Differences between protozoa and metazoa. Protozoa morphology unicellular. A single cell-like unit physiology. A single cell performs example all the functions: reproduction, digestion, respiration, excretion, etc. Amoeba. Multicellular. A number of cells, making up a complex individual. Each special cell performs a particular function. Tapeworm. Endoplasm shows number of structures: the Golgi bodies, endoplasmic reticulum, food vacuoles and contractile vacuoles. Contractile vacuoles serve to regulate the osmotic pressure. Nucleus. The nucleus is usually single but may be double or multiple. Some species having as many as 100 nuclei in a single cell. LHE nucleus contains one or more nuclei or a central chi-1 yosem. The chromatin may be distributed along periphery, peripheral chromatin, or as condensed mass around the chirysome. Terminologies used in protozoology. Chromatoid body. Extranuclear chromatin material is called chromatoid body. For example, is found in Entamoeba histolytica cyst. Chirysome. It is a deoxyribonucleic acid, DNA, containing body, situated peripherally or centrally within the nucleus and found in intestinal amoeba. For example, E. histolytica E. coli. Kinetoplast. Non-nuclear DNA present in addition to nucleus is called kinetoplast. It is seen in trypanosomes. Flagellum originates near the kinetoplast. Point of origin of flagellum is called as basal body 1. Cilia. These are fine, needle-like filaments, covering the entire surface of the body and are found in ciliates. For example, Balantidium coli, trophozoile, trophus, nourishment. Active feeding and growing stage of Protozoa is called phetrophozooites. It derives nutrition from the environment by diffusion, pinocytosis and phagocytosis. Reproduction. Reproduction can be asexual reproduction, sexual reproduction. Reproduction usually occurs asexually in protozoans. However, sexual reproduction occurs in ciliates and sporozoans. Asexual reproduction. Binary fission. It is a method of asexual reproduction, by which a single parasite divides either longitudinally or transversally into two or more equal number of parasites. Mitotic division of nucleus is followed by division of the cytoplasm. In Amoebae, division occurs along any plane, but in flagellates, division is along longitudinal axis and in ciliates, in the transverse plane. Figure 1. Multiple fission or schizogony. Plasmodium exhibits schizogony, in which nucleus undergoes several successive divisions within the schism to produce large number of merozoiles. Fig. I. Endodiogeny. Some protozoa like Toxoplasma multiply by internal budding, resulting in formation of two daughter cells. Longitudinal binary fission. Flagellates. Binary fission. Amoeba. Protozoa. Sexual reproduction. Conjugation. In ciliates, the sexual process is conjugation, in which two organisms join together and reciprocally exchange nuclear material. For example, Balantidium coli. Gametogamy or syngamy. In sporozoa, male and female gametocytes are produced, which after fertilization form the zygote, which gives rise to numerous sporozoites by sporogamy. For example, Plasmodium. Life cycle single host. Protozoa like intestinal flagellates and ciliates require only one host, within which they multiply asexually in trophic stage and transfer from one host to another by the cystic form. Second host. In some protozoa like Plasmodium, asexual method of reproduction occurs in one host, man, and sexual method of reproduction in another host, mosquito. Class IFL cation of protozoa. Protozoan parasites of medical importance have been classified into kingdom Protista. Subkingdom Protozoa, which is further divided into the following four phyla. Table 2. L. Archimestigophora 2. Apicomplexa 3. Microspora 4. Ciliophora. The important protozoan pathogens of human are summarized in Table 3. Multiple fission, schizogony, transverse binary fission, ciliates, plasmid 1 red blood cell daughter nuclei disrupt cell wall and is released. Figure 1. Asexual reproduction in protozoans. Table 2. Classification of protozoa. Phylum subphylum Sarcomastigophora mastigophora, having one or more flagella. Superclass classes Mastigophoria sarcodina rhizopoda labosia Apicomplexa Cliophora microspora. Pseudopodia present. Sporosia kinetophragminophoria microsporia subclass Gymnomebia coccidia pyriplasmia vestibuloferia order kinetoplastida retortomonadida diplomonadida trichomonadida remedis schizopyrenida eucoccidia pyriplasmida trichostomastida microsporidia. Suborder. Trypanosomadina interromonadina diplomonadina tubulina acanthopodina emeria hemosporina trichostomadina appensporoblastina genus Trypanosoma leishmania rare ortaminus clemastix enteromonas giardia trichomonas. Dentamoeba. Entamoeba. Indolimax. Bodomoeba acanthomoeba nigleria cryptosporidium. Suspora. Sarcocystis. Toxoplasma plasmodium babesia balantidium enterocitozoon encephalitozoon microsporum. I11. T. TR00. It. 0-3. 11. Q. IL. -00 deg. Table 3. Principal protozoan pathogens of man species. Habitat disease. Entamoeba. Large intestine. Amoebic dysentery. Histolytica. Amoebic liver abscess. Nigleria fowleri. CNS. Amoebic meningoencephalitis. Acanthomoeba. CNS. Ioncephalitis. Keratitis. Giardia. Lamblia. Small intestine malabsorption. Diarrhea. Trichomonas vagina. Urethrovaginitis. Urethritis vagina is trypanosoma brucei. Blood. Lymph node. Sleeping sickness. CNST. Rypanosomo cruzi. Macrophage of bone. Chagas disease. Marrow. Nerves. Heart. Colon. Etc. Leishman. Ariticuloendothelial colorazar. Post-colorazar. Denovany system. Dermal leishmaniasis. Leishmania tropica. Skin cutaneous leishmaniasis. Oriental sore. Leishmania naso-oral mucosa. Mucocutaneous brasilensis. Leishmaniasis. Ispundia. Chicleros ulcer. Plasmodium spp. RBC. Malaria. Babesia microti. RBC. Babesiosis. Lysospora. B2. Intestine diarrhea and AIDS. Cryptosporidium. Intestine diarrhea and AIDS. Parvum. Balantidium coli. Large intestine dysentery. Protozoa from the nugulates by the loss of the flagella. Two groups of Amoeba of medical importance. 1. Amoeba of the alimentary canal. The most important of these is E. histolytica, which causes intestinal and extra-intestinal amoebiasis. Amoeba are JSO present in the mouth. 2. Potentially pathogenic free-living Amoeba. Several species of saprophytic Amoeba are found in soil and water. 2 of these, I. Nigleria and 2. Acanthomoeba are of clinical interest because they can cause eye infections and fatal meningoencephalitis. Flagellates. These protozoa have whip-like appendages called flagella as the organs of locomotion. 1. Fibri J. Jar structure of flagell jar is identical with that of spirochetes, and it has been suggested that they may have been derived from symbiotic spirochetes, which have become endoparasites. parasites. In some species, the flagellum runs parallel to the body surface, to which it is connected by a membrane called the undulating membrane. Flagellates parasitic for man are divided into two groups. One kinetoplastida, these possess a kinetoplast from which a single flagellum arises. They the hemiflagellates comprising the trypanosomes and leishmania, which are transmitted by blood-sucking insects and cause systemic or lockage infections too. Flagellates without kinetoplast, these bear multiple flagella. Giardia, trichomonas and other luminal flagellates belong to this group. Because most of them live in the intestine, they are generally called intestinal abbreviations. AIDS, acquired immunodeficiency syndrome, CNS, central nervous flagellate system, RSC. Red blood cell phylum Sarcomastigophora. Phylum Sarcomastigophora has been subdivided into two subphyla based on their modes of locomotion. 1. Sarcodina, sarcus meaning flesh or body. It includes those parasites, which have no permanent locomotory organs, but move about with the aid of temporary prolongations of the body called pseudopodia. For example, Amoeba 2. Masterigophora, mastix meaning whip or flagellum. It includes those protozoa which possess whip-like flagella. For example, Trypanosoma and Trichomonas. Amoeba. These protein animalcules can assume any shape and crawl along surfaces by means of foot-like projections called pseudopodia, literally meaning false feet. They are structurally very simple and are believed to have evolved Phylum Apicomplexa. Phylum Apicomplexa was formerly known as Sporozoa. Members of this group possess, at some stage in their life cycle, a structure called the apical complex serving as the organ of attachment to host cells. 1 hay tissue parasites. 1 hay have a complex life cycle with alternating sexual and asexual generations. To this group belongs the malarial parasites, Suborder, Hemosporina, family, Plasmodiidae, Toxoplasma, Sarcocystis, Lysospora, and Cryptosporidium, under Resuborder, Emerina, Babesia, under the subclass, Pyroplasma, and the unclassified Pneumocystis giro-11eci. Phylum Ciliaphora. These protozoa are motile by means of cilia, which cover their entire body surface. The on-human parasite in this group is Balantidium coli, which rarely causes dysentery. Panica's Textbook of Medical Parasitology. Phylum Microspora. Phylum Microspora contains many minute intracellular protozoan parasites, which frequently cause disease in immunodeficient subjects. They may also cause illness in the immunocompetent. Rarely. The zoological classification of protozoa is complex and is subject to frequent revisions. The classification described in the chapter is an abridged version of the classification proposed in 1980 by the Committee on Systematics and Evolution of the Society of Protozoologists, as applied to protozoa of medical importance. Important points to remember: only protozoan parasite found in lumen of human small intestine. Giardia amblia, largest protozoa. Balantidium coli, most common protozoan parasite. Toxoplasma gondii. Key points of protozoa. Protozoa are single-celled, eukaryotic microorganisms consisting of cell membrane, cytoplasm and nucleus. Some protozoa have kinetoplast and flagella or cilia. Amoeba move about with temporary prolongations of the body called pseudopodia. Hemiflagellates comprising of Trypanosoma and leishmania possess a single flagellum and kinetoplast. Luminal flagellates like Giardia and Trichomonas bear multiple flagella without kinetoplast. Balantidium coli belongs to the phylum Ciliaphora, which is motile by cilia that cover its entire body surface. Trophozoites are active feeding and growing stage of protozoa. Cysts are resting or resistant stage of protozoa bounded by tough cell wall. Protozoa multiply by both asexual and sexual modes of reproduction. Malaria parasite, Toxoplasma and Cryptosporidium belong to phylum Apicomplexa or Sporozoa, which possess apical complex at some stage of their life cycle and have a complex life cycle with alternating sexual and asexual generations. Microspora are intracellular protozoan parasites, which cause disease in immunodeficient patients. Review questions 1. Define protozoa and describe their general characteristics 2. Write short notes on A. Classification of protozoa. B. Reproduction in protozoa. 3. Differentiate between protozoa and metazoa. Multiple choice questions 1. Protozoa belong to kingdom A. Monera. B. Protista. C. Plantae. D. Animalia. 2. All are intercellular parasites except A. Leishmania. B. Plasmodium. C. Toxoplasma. D. None of the above. 3. Non-nuclear DNA present in addition to nucleus in protozoan parasite is A. Chromatic body. B. Keraisome. C. Kinetoplast. D. Basal body. 4. Entamoeba histolytica. Trophozoites multiply by A. Binary fission. B. Schizogony. C. Gametogony. D. All of the above. 5. In humans, malarial parasites multiply by A. Binary fission. B. Budding. C. Gametogony. D. Schizogony. 6. Which of the following is not a flagellate? A. Neigleria. B. Leishmania. C. Giardia. D. Dentamoeba. Answer 1. B. 2. D. 3. C. 4 or 5. D. 6. A. L.